Hi, everybody. How are you? It's Wednesday. This is Cosmic Comfort. I am so happy to see you. We did a little bit of a switch. I was going to do a Facebook Live and then changed my mind. I decided I wanted to do YouTube. So anyway, we're here. Thank you for bearing with us for a minute and following the loop-de-loop of the link situation that we went through, my amazing team, getting this coordinated. So I'm very excited. This is week 4 of a 7-week series. I might take it to 8 weeks, depending on what you think of what I've got for you tonight. So it's very inspired. I hope you're doing well, by the way. So if this is your first time joining, this is Cosmic Comfort. This is 7 weeks of a gift from me to you to bring you comfort, to bring you connection, to bring you a little bit of peace in the middle of your day. It is a challenging time for us, all of us, no matter who you are, where you are. There is a surge of energy across our planet. Our own, internal frequencies are increasing. The planet's own frequency is increasing and expanding. And yet, we don't talk a lot about that. So we're all feeling this common sense of agitation and anxiety, and it's in the field, but it's almost like we're not giving voice to it. And, our own anxieties, our own agitations, when we don't address them, show up outside of us as a challenge or an obstacle. You know that, right? So when you're not doing your own inner work, which I think, individually a lot of us are, in the collective there's a lot of work avoidance, to use a term from organizational psychology. So when you have work avoidance, that it's not like that work disappears. It just takes on a different structure, a different form. And so, if you see yourself running up against sort of the same patterns over and over in your life, it's really an invitation for you to take a look and think about, okay, so what am I not seeing that I need to see? And what's interesting is when you're listening and you're receiving guidance from the divine, God, creator, source, your guides, however you think of the voice that speaks to you, when you're receiving that guidance, usually at first it's very subtle. I always say first it whispers in your ear. It's just so subtle where you kind of have to go and say, is that just my mind? Or is that really the voice of God? Is that really a guide or someone more profound? If you don't listen, the whisper goes to a speaking voice. The signs get a little bit clearer, and sometimes you feel the impact. So it's the universe like going from a whisper to a nudge. Then we don't pay attention to the nudge, the spoken word. Then the universe sometimes has to move you into a relationship, out of a relationship, into a job, out of a job, into a different part of the country, out of the country. And so when you see these dramatic shifts happening, or when something dramatic happens in your life, a lot of times it's because there were more subtle signs along the way. You just didn't pay attention to them. And I will say, it's not like you get to some place. A lot of coaches and people who do, public speaking and motivational speaking will tell you that there's a point where you'll just get it. You know what I mean? And you'll never have to worry about this again because you'll be in some enlightened state. I will tell you, that's not my experience. My experience is, especially if you're doing your soul work, this is an iterative process. You are a work in progress. If you get to a point where you have learned all the lessons, integrated all the wisdom, had all the conversations, healed all the karma and trauma, then I think you will probably not be here anymore. I think you will go on to the next level or the next challenge. So my thing is, if you're here and you're doing your work, it is a cycle. It is an iterative cycle. And there'll be years, or months or days where you think, I've got this, I'm feeling good, I'm doing my work, I'm having a breakthrough. And then there's going to be weeks and months where you're like, what? Wait a minute, I was just in that place, now I'm here. And it's because you have to accept that everything happens in cycles. So it's so good to see you guys. So, we're all going through this ebb and flow, these peaks and valleys of our own development. And I think the number one thing we have to do is have some compassion for ourselves. We talked about this at Full Moon this past weekend on Sunday, right? Your compassion has to begin with you. Then you have to look and say, I'm going through a lot and I'm learning a lot and I'm trying to integrate a lot. And so beginning with compassion for you And then you can have compassion for others. But I really think you should have deep compassion for yourself. And I do think that you should have deep compassion for others too. Everybody, one of my favorite sayings is, people can only meet you from their level of development. They can't meet you from your level of development. And when you expect that from people, it's unfair. I'm guilty of that, by the way. I often will expect people to come to me from my level of development, and that's not fair. And that's something I'm becoming more and more conscious of in my own practice. And I kind of like to share with you where I'm struggling, because a lot of times that helps you identify too. And again, I don't want to be one of those coaches who's like, come work with me, I've got it all figured out. So that sometimes is a little concerning. So in the spirit of that, in the spirit of owning where you are and having compassion for yourself and acknowledging that you're a work in progress, a beautiful, divine, messy, glorious, magical, scared work in progress, from that place, a lot of healing can come. A lot of healing. So let's clear out any stuck energy, anything from this week or last week since I saw you. Just any pain, any anxiety, any fear, any doubt or confusion. Just clearing that away. Clearing away any anger and anxiety, unproductive emotions for you right now, and just making space for peace. Raising the vibration and clearing out anything that is stuck or dark to make more room for light. Make more room for light. And then I'm going to take my beautiful selenite wand. I'm going to open this circle that combines our energy fields tonight and unites us across space and time. I'm so grateful that you're here. And so tonight, what I'm going to do is talk to you briefly about a strategy, a way of thinking about the elements. And then we're going to start with the element of air tonight. If there's time, by the way, at the end, I have some cards. These cards are called Notes from the Universe. And it's one of my favorite decks. And so if there's time, I'll pull a card for you. If there isn't time tonight, I will pull cards for you next week. But I thought it might be fun for you to receive a message from the universe tonight. The messages tend to be really on point with that deck. So here we are. So I'm going to talk to you about how to work with the elements in order to bring a deeper sense of calm, a deeper sense of peace, and a deeper sense of comfort to your life. The elements are not just gateways that we call upon in ritual circle. We work with the elements because they represent so much. They represent a quarter of, the plant and animal kingdom. They represent many of the tools, sacred tools that we use, the minerals in our earth. They represent, the element of air, for example, represents the birds and their ability to fly free. It represents the air that surrounds us and swirls and cleans and cleanses. It represents the smoke from our sacred herbs when we smudge. And so learning to heal using the elements is very, very powerful. So tonight what I want to do is I want to talk about the element of air, and I want to do a brief set of little meditations with you right now to help you understand the element of air. And what I want you to do is as we do this meditation, if there's one of them that you really like, you might consider doing this on your own too, and maybe just every morning. I like to start my day with meditation. Some people like to do it before they fall asleep, but I like to do mine right before I get out of bed, because that's the quiet time in my day. It's before my kids have seen me, so they're not screaming. It's before the coffee has been made, and it's before the news has been turned on, and it's quiet in the morning, especially early morning. So that's what works for me. The cards, by the way, are called Notes from the Universe, and it's by Mike Dooley. And I love it. I don't know him, and I'm not promoting it for any other reason except that I just love it, and I think you might like it too. So I want you to close your eyes, roll your shoulders back. I want to thank you for being here with me, taking this half an hour out of your evening, wherever you are. So grateful for you. Just reaching my hands out across the field to take yours and hold your hands and tell you how grateful I am for you tonight. And so I want you to think about all the manifestations of the element of air. I want you to first think about desert winds, big gusts of desert winds. If you've ever been in the desert Southwest here in California or Arizona or Baja, Mexico, the big desert gusts that come and blow and stir up all the sand and make these beautiful sandstorms out in the middle of the desert. I want you to first think of air in its most powerful manifestation, which is big, blowing, billowing gusts of winds that blow in a circular direction. And as those big winds blow, what do? They pick up everything in their path. They pick up the leaves, they pick up the sand, they pick up the dirt, they pick up the feathers, they pick up anything that's light, and they carry it forward. What wind doesn't do is it doesn't move, it can't move heavy objects, right? So what does wind do when it hits a heavy object? It moves around it. And if you think about what you consider beautiful, I consider things beautiful when they are light and airy and effortless. I love to watch dancers, who use their hands when they dance, and just the grace of that, how beautiful it is to watch someone who's so conscious and aware of all the delicate movements of their body, right? Not harsh, but soft, right? Like that's beauty. And we think of beauty as movement. We think of beauty as symmetry and balance, and we think of beauty as movement. So I want you to close your eyes and imagine these gusts of winds. And I want you to imagine them coming into your world for a moment. Imagine those gusts of winds coming into the room where you are right now. And imagine letting those winds go through the room where you are right now and just gently pick up anything that's light and create movement around it. Imagine those winds coming up behind you and, moving your clothing and moving your hair. And because wind is constantly looking for a path through. Wind wants to move around. Wind is not going to resist. Wind is going to create a path around what it can't pick up and move. And it's a really beautiful metaphor for you, right? Can you in your life create a path around the things you cannot move? That's how you will stay sane. A lot of people come to me and say, how do I hang on while I'm waiting to manifest a different job, or while I'm waiting to manifest a relationship, or while I'm waiting for it to manifest better health? How do I hang on? What I tell people is create movement around what you cannot change yet. Find a way to just create a pocket of air. And so imagine, and as you're watching these gusts of air, of wind, of these desert sands moving in your mind, imagine giving to those big gusts of wind anything light in your life that needs to be moved or removed. And you might consider giving that wind your anxiety that you're feeling right now. If it's light enough to hand over, you can imagine giving that wind any fear that you're feeling. You can give that wind the permission to come through your space and clear off any dust or cobwebs. The things that air takes with it are the things that are holding you down. They're the things that look like they're light, but they're actually over time creating weight that anchors you. So imagine letting that, Lisa's an Aquarius, so she's saying she does this every day. If you're an air sign, by the way, this is easy for you, because this is you. This is what you do for other people. You are that constant movement, creating pockets of flow. So this is easy for you if you're an air sign. Pardon the sirens. It's another form of air, really, right? They're moving energy through, sending a blessing to whoever is needing that ambulance tonight. So Lauren's imagining gale force winds, right? Just blowing. And I want you to imagine giving to these winds. Give the permission to come through. Give them permission to come through your own aura and clear out any debris from your auric field. Give these big winds the permission to come through and clean off the dust, clean off the cobwebs. Take these emotions from you that need movement around them. Maybe you're stuck. Are you stuck in conflict with somebody where you just can't understand their point of view and they just can't understand your point of view? Let wind come through and blow all the way through that relationship. You can even imagine, because I'm big on visualization. If you want to know the secret to my practice, it's visualization. You got to become a master at it, truly, because everything comes down to visualization. You don't ever create anything that you don't see here first. Nothing. If you think about it in your life, your children were here first. on some level. If you've ever created a business, your business was here first. Your partner was probably here first. Most things you create in your life. If you have a job that you love, you probably set an intention for that. If you're feeling anxiety, that's exactly where you need to be. Let that wind come through and push through it for you. Give that anxiety over. Watch those winds coming through and hand it. Give your anxiety to the wind, to air, and let it create movement for you so that you don't feel like that anxiety is sitting on you. Does that make sense? And then when you get a little more advanced with this exercise, one of the things that I do is if I feel like I've been working with someone and their energy is stuck to me, sticky energy, what I will do is imagine really separating myself energetically from that person, and then I'll imagine air coming through and circulating between us. Not separating me from that person, but creating a little pocket of movement between us and just letting us have a little bit of breathing room energetically. That's a really good practice to do if you're having a conflict with someone. The other thing I would tell you is teach your kids to do this. You know how you have to teach children or your nieces and nephews or your friends' children that you have an influence on? You know how you have to teach kids how to calm themselves down? Taking deep breaths. Tell them to imagine that swirling of wind going all the way around them, and until they can visualize feeling the movement of the air. If they put their attention on the breeze, on imagining wind coming through and picking up everything and moving it away, creating movement, it will automatically take their attention off of whatever is bothering them in the moment. It's a really good tool to teach kids because it not only is it helping them learn about the elements, but it keeps their focus off of whatever is getting stuck for them. And here Anna is in Miami with rain and wind and thunderstorms. She's in exactly the same place. Okay. Now once you have had that experience with air, and whether you let the winds become very strong or whether you let them just be very small and subtle, one of the things I want to make sure you do is let the air come up around your physical body. And if you've had just play with this for a minute. If you've had any pain or any tension, if you've had pain or tension in your shoulders or pain or tension in your back or your lower back, I get sciatic nerve pain. If you get any headaches, just imagine taking that pain from wherever it is in your body and let the wind take it. Let it come through and blow through. I also do this sometimes too if I feel like there is like a pulled muscle in some place. I'll imagine the wind coming through and literally just creating movement around the muscle or movement around the tendon, and that can help a lot too. So give it any of your health concerns, give it any of your emotional concerns, give it any energetic concerns that you have. If you're in conflict with anyone, let it move between you. Trust me, the person that you're in conflict with will also experience this. And probably experience a little bit of clarity, because what does wind do? In addition to moving things, in addition to cleaning, it brings clarity. When it blows all the leaves off of your, back porch, all of a sudden it's like you can see again, right? It's a cleansing force, even though it's not water. It doesn't wash things clean, but it does blow clean. And so in that way, it can almost move anything. But like I said, it's not going to move around the heavy things in your life, but it's going to create movement around them, which can feel almost as good sometimes. So take a nice deep breath right there. What needs movement in your life right now? Who needs that in their relationship with you? Who needs that space to breathe, to communicate? Remember also, air is the element of communication. So where is there a space or a place in your conversations, in your relationships for deeper dialogue? Where can you open up places and spaces for conversation? When relationships get tight, oftentimes there's a lack of communication, right? At the worst times in a relationship, how much are people talking to each other? Usually not at all, right? So element of air, guardians of the Eastern Gateway. This is the breath of life in the East. And so what you can also do as an alternative, I've been giving you like sort of options with this. As an alternative, what you can do is imagine inhaling all of the possibilities in your life. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Possibilities for you personally, professionally, emotionally, magically, in terms of your health, in terms of your relationships. Inhale all those possibilities. And then on the exhale, and while you're inhaling, really focus on the one you want to cultivate most. And on the exhale, send the energy out to that thing you want to create. Send that breath of life out. Whether it's your health you want to improve, the relationship you want to improve, use your breath and push that breath out toward that goal. Better health, better communication, better sleep, more peace. And you can actually do this over and over and over again with each inhale, pulling in all the possibilities for what could be improved with the element of air, and on the exhale, focusing on one, just crystallizing one, setting the intention with your breath on one outcome. And keep doing it until you feel like you've isolated every single place in your life that needs a new beginning. Every single place in your life that needs clarity. Every single place in your life that needs movement. And what's really interesting is by the end of this exercise, you should feel quite relaxed for a couple of reasons. First of all, the air element is the most peaceful of the four. Earth is more grounded, but air is more peaceful because air constantly knows that change is unavoidable. And so they're comfortable going with the flow. They're not trying to force things. Air signs are mutable in their nature. And so they're more able to adapt. They're able to overcome challenges more easily than the fire signs, the water signs, and the earth signs. So this is also the direction of not just clarity and rebirth and new beginnings and all of that, but this is also the direction of peace. So this evening, Guardians of the Eastern Gateway, Guardians of Peace, we come to you when we ask that you help us allow the element of air to move more deliberately and intentionally in our life. And those of us who have air sign alignment in our natal chart will find this easier. I'm Libra rising. But if you don't have any air in your chart, you can still do this exercise. And in fact, it might even be more important for you if you don't have air in your chart to really focus on this, to temper the fire or the water or the earth or wherever you are aspected in your chart. So Guardians of the East, we ask for this blessing tonight, moving that element of air through our lives to bless us, to bring us peace, clarity, new beginnings, a cleansing, a purification through air. Help us to be blessed by this in many ways. And help us to experience a deeper level of peace within ourselves and also within our relationships for the highest good of all beings. So it is. So it is. And just keep thinking. And if you want to I always have feathers on my altar to represent the element of air, because this is an air element tool. So having a smudge fan, that's why we have a smudge fan, in case you didn't know that. It's not just to move the smoke, but it's also to represent and hold the element of air. I actually have 2 ceremonial fans on my altar. This one is for, actually not for smudging, this one is for cord cutting. So even though they look very similar, the intention, both in how it was made and how I use it, is quite different. So you can use tools for different purposes depending on what your intention is and what you need at the time, which is interesting. All right, I'm going to pull cards for a few minutes. What do you think? By the way, did you enjoy that? Because if you did, what I'll do is take us through, for the next few weeks, one element for the remaining 3, to teach you how to do cleansing and to attract deeper comfort and peace using the elements. And what I like about that is, it also teaches you more about how to relate to the elements and how to engage with them. And for your own practice, that's very, very important. I'm glad you liked it. Those are turkey feathers. And then these are macaw. And there's some pheasant in there as well. And this is turkey too. Turkey is legal to have feathers, and so we focus on turkey feathers. 4 wands. Oh, I'm so glad you liked it. Okay, so if you would like me to pull a card for you, just say yes. Tara already said yes, so I'm just gonna start, and I'm just gonna read your 1-line message to you. Okay, so I'm gonna start with Tara. Tara. Tara, it says, if everyone really knew how much they were loved, not only from above, but by everyone now in their life, there'd be little hearts drawn on everything, from wheelbarrows to skyscrapers and jumbo jets. Isn't that a beautiful message? If everyone knew how much they were loved. All right, Holly Patterson, I'm feeling called to you, Holly Patterson. It says, dare not wish to change, Holly. Dare not wish to change even the slightest thing about a loved one without first understanding how it might change the rest of them. That's an interesting one, Holly. I wonder if that resonates with you. All right, Heather Wexler. Heather Wexler. It's telling me I haven't gotten the right one yet, Heather. Okay, here we go. The older the soul, the softer the glance, the quicker the smile, and the sooner to say, I love you. For Heather Wexler. Hi, Lori Sanborn. I'm going to read for you next. Lori Sanborn. Birds only know their isness. Trees only know their isness. And planets only know their isness. That's their only business. Let it be yours. It's a sweet message, too. Hi, Mary Swanson. Mary Swanson, it says, it's always better to give too much, pay too much, and love too much than not enough. It's always better to give too much, pay too much, and love too much than not enough. Hi, Jessie. How are you, Jessie B? Jessie B. You're the kind of person who saves so much time every month with wise decisions, creative thoughts, and simple kindness that if you were anyone else, you'd toot your own horn, take the next week off, and stop feeling really guilty for not doing more. Really, the universe. Sounds like you need a reward, Jessie. Maybe you got to do that for yourself. Hi, Louise. Louise Herrera. Hi, Louise. It says, I just met with someone very, very fond of you. Actually, everyone here is very, very fond of you. This friend said to tell you that just because most people are looking for what they think they don't have, doesn't mean they don't have it. I don't know. That's a little bit of an interesting message, don't you think? Okay. Hi, Tina Torres. I'm reading for Tina Torres. It says, the day will come, I assure you, when you will sit so high upon your throne that absolutely no slight or violation you will have ever endured will matter to you in the least, if that day hasn't already come. It sounds like good days are ahead for you, if they're not already here. Hi, Barb. Hi, Barb. This is for Barb Kaufman. It says, did you know that it's perfectly okay, even highly ideal, to claim all is well amongst doubt and confusion and to be happy in spite of challenges? Sounds like permission, Barb. Hi, Jane. Hi, Jane Martz. I'm going to read for you. Aren't they beautiful? Listen to them. Even if it's not yours, listen to them because they're beautiful. I think they're beautiful. Okay, this is for Jane. It says, taking massive action on massive dreams amidst massive uncertainties is pretty much where anyone who's ever done anything massive had to start. And then things got way easier. So maybe Jane is putting off something. But once you start, it gets better. Isn't it pretty? Angela Giroux. I think I'm pronouncing your last name right. Angela. It says, the main thing those who've passed would like to tell those who have not passed is that once you get over the shock of having safely arrived, completely intact, cool as ever, and bathed in love, what you'll miss most about Earth after the ice cream is the beguiling romance of uncertainty. I think that's true. I had a journey once where I saw how organized the other side is, and I missed the chaos. I missed the uncertainty. Hi, Sarah Griffin. I see you. Beautiful lady. Your card says, if you're at least visualizing enough to wonder whether or not you're doing it right, you're doing it right. And you're way, way ahead of the game. That card feels so right for you. That's a big affirmation for you tonight, girl. These are called, the cards are called Notes from the Universe. by Mike Dooley. And like I said, I don't know him, but I love his cards. They were gifted to me, and I'm just obsessed with them. Hi, Norma. I'll pull a card for Norma. Norma. It says, it's no accident that your courage often overrides your common sense. You wanted to be programmed that way. You also wanted it all. I think that's a good one. I kind of like that one. That sounds like a one that would be for me. Hi, Tracy Donnelly. They're fun, right? Tracy Donnelly. Tracy. The one who prepares for adversity builds not a bridge of retreat, but one upon which adversity advances. Isn't that interesting? Once you embrace adversity, it leaves. It's when you resist it that it stays. Isn't that funny? Hi, Natasha Harper. It's nice to meet some of you I know and some of you I don't, so it's kind of fun. Those of you I don't know, it's nice to meet you. Natasha, here's your card. You could pray for 1,000 nights, visualize for 1,000 days, and give thanks for 1,000 things. But it's when you physically prepare the way, no matter how silly, tiny, or futile your efforts may seem, that 1,000 miracles will find you. Get out of the way. I think that's a good one, too. Okay. Hi, Angie. Angie Linton. Angie Linton. Actually, they're saying that's not the right one, Angie. There it is. The speed with which any dream may be realized is always a function of how small the miracles have to be in order not to freak out the dreamer. Let's say that again. The speed with which any dream may be realized is always a function of how small the miracles have to be in order not to freak out the dreamer. I really like that one. Okay, hi, Velvet. Velvet Overman. What a lovely, beautiful name. That's a beautiful name. Okay, Velvet, this is your card. It's not that you worry, but that you care a lot. And knowing this can make such a difference, because then you can also remember that caring is my specialty, that every life unfolds in the palm of my hand, and that not 1 second of eternity is ever revealed that I haven't already carefully prepared. You have to trust, trust, trust. All right, I'm going to do 2 more. Celine Keith. Hi. I'm going to pull a card for you. It says, this is a funny one, some are better loved from a distance, for a while anyway, and that's okay. It really says that. And then the last thing says, besides, love doesn't really know the difference. Are you loving from afar? So good. Okay, Lisa Machado, for all that you do for others, may I pull a card for you? All right, Lisa. It says, whatever your problem or challenge may be, laugh at it. Laugh long and hard. Because you are forever, and it is temporary. That's a really good one. You are forever. It is temporary. That's so good. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for being here with me tonight. It was my pleasure to hold this beautiful space with you. I want to thank you. I want to thank your guides for being present in the circle. And we will gather next Wednesday at 5 p.m. In case you didn't see, I am sure you did, but we are doing free perfume. If you buy any perfumes today, you get a free perfume from us as a gift. So that is going on at sagegoddess.com today. I know, it was really beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad that you were here, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Again, thank you. Thank you for, honestly, taking half an hour out of your day, especially a lot of you are already in my classes, so we've seen each other all week long. But this is my gift to you. So take this working with the element of air, take this breath, take this connection to some of these beautiful messages, because even if I didn't pull a card for you tonight, I'll keep these cards here and I'll pull them next time too. Even if I didn't pull a card for you tonight, these messages are universal, right? The universe wants you to laugh and relax and surrender a little bit and not take everything so seriously. I think a lot of us we perpetuate our own misery on so many levels. And so choosing to be happy is what we do. Because in the meantime, you got to enjoy your life. You only have one of them to live for right now. So with love from me to you, have a beautiful evening, everybody. I will see you very soon. Enjoy the rest of your week. Take good care.